Most people think the path to something amazing is through force. Work harder, push more, control everything. But here's the truth they don't tell you. Some of the most powerful transformations don't happen when you do more. They happen when you finally let go. When you stop chasing, stop performing, stop fixing things that were never your job to carry. Because maybe it's not about creating the perfect plan. Maybe it's about coming back to the one place you've been avoiding all along, yourself. Ever wondered why some people seem to attract peace, success, clarity without burning out? It's not magic, it's not luck, it's inner strategy. And today, I'll show you exactly what that looks like. Stay with me, because by the end, you won't just feel calmer. You'll see why focusing on you is the most powerful thing you can do. Let's be honest, you've tried everything to fix your life from the outside. Chased opportunities, chased approval, chased timelines, checklists and outcomes that were supposed to make you feel finally enough. But no matter how much you achieve, it still feels like something's missing. The peace doesn't last. The clarity doesn't stay. The fulfillment, it flickers, then disappears. Why? Because real transformation doesn't start out there. It starts within. The Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't wait for the world to change. They trained their minds to stay centered, even when the world was chaos. And that's what today's video is about. This isn't a list of things to chase. It's a set of inner shifts that quietly change everything. I'll share with you. Stoic mindset switches that are simple, powerful, and deeply misunderstood, not because they're hard, but because they're quiet. They don't shout, they don't force, but they create space for something extraordinary to emerge from within you. And if you stay till the end, I'll give you the most overlooked, most calming, most life-changing Stoic practice. A 10-second ritual that will reset your nervous system even on the worst days. Let's begin this return to yourself, not through pressure, but through power. Meet Nathan. On the outside, he had everything. A great job, a busy calendar, a feed full of smiles that looked like success. But inside, chaos, noise, and this constant, gnawing tension that he couldn't quite name. Every time things slowed down, he felt the panic rise, so he kept moving. More work, more hustle, more distractions. Until one evening, he found himself staring at his own reflection, exhausted, alone, and unsure who he even was anymore. He thought he needed to do more, but what he really needed was to finally be still, to sit in the discomfort, to let the silence speak, to face the part of himself he had abandoned while chasing everyone else's version of success. And that's where his real transformation began, because sometimes you don't need a new strategy. You need to stop running from the voice inside that already knows what truly matters. Just like Nathan, maybe your next breakthrough won't come from pushing harder, but from returning to the self you've been ignoring. Switch number 1. From reaction to ataraxia, it begins subtly. A text left unanswered, a glance that feels dismissive, a comment that cuts deeper than expected. Suddenly you're engulfed. Your heart races, your mind spirals, your emotions surge, you're reacting. In today's world, reaction is almost glorified. Quick responses, instant feedback, emotions worn on sleeves. But here's the Stoic truth. Reaction is the chain that binds you to external chaos. Response is the key that unlocks internal freedom. Enter Ataraxia. A term rooted in ancient philosophy, Ataraxia signifies a state of serene calmness, an unshakable tranquility amidst turmoil. But achieving ataraxia isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about mastering them. It's not about indifference. It's about discernment. To feel deeply yet remain undisturbed. To engage fully yet stay centered. The Stoics didn't advocate for emotional numbness. They championed emotional intelligence. They taught that while we can't control external events, we can control our perceptions and reactions. It's not things themselves that disturb us. Epictetus reminds us, but our judgments about them. So how do we transition from reaction to ataraxia? Chapter. Cultivate awareness. Before you can change a reaction, you must first recognize it. Notice the triggers, identify the patterns. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Embrace the pause. Between stimulus and response lies a space. In that space is your power. Use it, breathe, reflect, choose. Reframe your perspective. Challenge your initial judgments. Is the offense intentional? Is the situation as dire as it feels? Often, our reactions are based on assumptions, not facts. Align with virtue. Let your actions be guided by wisdom, not impulse. Respond with patience, not anger. With understanding, not judgment. Practice regularly. Ataraxia isn't achieved overnight. It's a discipline. Daily reflections, mindful practices, consistent effort. Over time, reactions diminish. Responses become intentional and tranquility becomes your default state. Remember, you are not a puppet of external events. You are the master of your inner world. By shifting from reaction to ataraxia, you reclaim your power. You choose peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, freedom over bondage. Let ataraxia be your anchor in the stormy seas of life. Because in the end, it's not about avoiding the waves, but learning to surf them with grace. Switch. For 2, from control to will you've been told. Take control, take charge. Don't let anything slip through your hands. So you try. You try to predict outcomes, to manage every variable, to keep people close, to keep failure far, but eventually, something breaks. Someone leaves. The job ends. Your plans fall apart. And suddenly, all your effort feels like it was for nothing. That's the moment most people spiral, not because life surprised them, but because their entire identity was built on an illusion, control. But here's what the Stoics knew, something we've forgotten in the noise. Control is not the goal. Clarity is, and clarity begins when we accept what's outside our reach. So what do we focus on if not control? The answer is will. Your will is the one thing no one can take from you. They can ignore you, they can disrespect you, they can destroy everything you built, but they cannot decide how you show up in the aftermath. That's yours, forever. The Stoics called it prohairesis, your inner moral compass. The faculty to choose right action regardless of external chaos. It's the quiet power to say, this hurts, but I will act with dignity. And this wasn't fair, but I will choose what aligns with my values. It's not weakness, it's not surrender. It's strategic surrender, so you stop wasting energy fighting what you cannot fix and start pouring energy into what you can transform. Here's your practice. Every time something slips out of your hands, a person, a plan, an expectation, don't tighten your grip, loosen it, step back, close your eyes, and say, this was never mine to control, but my response still is. Because you don't grow stronger by controlling more. You grow stronger by grounding yourself in what never changes. Your will, your choices, your inner code. And when you shift your focus from the world's chaos to your soul's compass, you'll realize nothing outside of you can truly break you. If you stay rooted in you. Switch number 3, from resistance to acceptance. We're wired to fight, to push back, to resist what hurts, to argue with what is, because deep down, we believe that if we resist hard enough, we can change it, undo it, make it unhappen. But here's the trap. Resistance doesn't change the reality. It only intensifies your suffering. It creates tension in your chest, tightness in your jaw, a war inside your mind that never ends. You replay the breakup, reanalyze the conversation, rebuild the version of the past where things went differently. But no matter how many times you fight it, one thing never changes. It already happened. That moment, that betrayal, that silence. It's done. And here's where Stoic wisdom steps in, quietly, powerfully, unflinchingly. Don't seek for things to happen as you wish. Seek to wish for things to happen as they do, and you will find peace. Epictetus, read that again, because that's not weakness, that's radical power. Acceptance is not giving up. It's not saying, I'm okay with this. It's saying, this hurt me, but I refuse to be owned by it. It's saying, I would have chosen differently, but since I can't go back, I'll build forward from here. Acceptance is not passive. It's active. It's a conscious, strong, brave decision to stop bleeding for things you can't change. So here's your practice. When you catch yourself arguing with the past, stop, put a hand on your heart, take a breath, and say, I release this moment. I release this outcome. I choose peace, not because it was fair, but because I'm done carrying it. Because the moment you let go of resistance, you make room for something new. A new thought, a new path, a new you. The past cannot be changed, but your relationship to it can be transformed, and when you stop resisting reality, you finally start creating it. Switch number 4, from rushing to presence. We live in a world obsessed with speed. Move faster, think quicker, get there before everyone else. If you're not rushing, you're falling behind. But here's the question no one asks. Where exactly are we rushing to? You rush to finish the project, to get the raise, to earn the title. And when you get there, there's no peace, just another hill to climb. You rush through conversations, thinking about what to say next, and miss the moment of true connection. You rush through healing, trying to move on fast enough so no one sees how deeply you're hurting. You even rush through rest, filling your weekends with noise, scrolling, half resting, but never actually recharging. And then you wonder, why? Do I feel so disconnected, so anxious, so empty? The Stoics saw it clearly. You are not exhausted because you're weak. You are exhausted because you've abandoned the moment. You've forgotten the only place where life actually exists. Now, not in your past regrets, not in your imagined future, but in this breath, this choice, this step. And when you trade presence for productivity, you lose the most important thing of all, your sense of being. So what does presence mean, really? It's not just mindfulness. It's not just slowing down. It's reclaiming your attention from everything that steals it. It's choosing to feel the water in your hands instead of rushing to dry them. It's tasting your food, not just checking your phone between bites. It's pausing in a conversation and really hearing what someone said without planning your reply. It's saying, this moment is enough. I don't need to outrun my life to prove my value. Here's your practice. Next time you feel that familiar tightness, that pull to just get it over with, stop. Take one full breath, feel your feet, soften your jaw, and ask, what is this moment inviting me to notice? Can I give it 100% of me instead of rushing to the next thing? Because when you slow down, you don't fall behind. You finally catch up with your own soul. And from that place, you don't just function, you flourish. The Stoics didn't race through life. They moved with purpose, with clarity, with pace, with presence. And so can you, because sometimes the fastest way forward is to stand still and let the moment catch. Up to you. Switch number 5. From attachment to autonomy, it starts quietly. You meet someone, you feel something, you connect, and slowly, almost invisibly, you attach, not just to the person, but to what they represent. Comfort, security, belonging, a future that finally feels like enough. But here's the truth. No one likes to admit. Most pain in relationships doesn't come from what people do. It comes from what we attach to. The fantasy, the expectation, the version of yourself you believe you can only access through them, and so you begin to hold on. Even when they pull away, even when they show you they're not who you imagined, even when you are no longer you, in the process of keeping them. That's not love, that's captivity. And the Stoics would say, you've made your peace dependent on something you can't control. That's where suffering begins. But there's another path, a quieter one, a freer one. It's not cold. It's not avoidant. It's called autonomy. The inner knowing that your joy, your peace, your identity is yours, and no one can take it. Autonomy doesn't mean isolation. It means wholeness. It means you can love fully without losing yourself. It means you can give freely without expecting repayment. It means you can walk away, not to punish, but to protect your clarity. Here's your practice. When you feel the pull to cling, pause, ask, am I holding on to them, or to what I'm afraid to lose in myself? Then let go, not of the connection, but of the illusion that you need them to feel whole. Because the more you attach, the more you abandon your center. But the more you root yourself in autonomy, the more magnetically people will be drawn to the calm, grounded, authentic you. And in that space, you no longer chase, you no longer beg, you no longer shrink. You simply be. And that is where the incredible begins. Let's step back. You started this video because something inside you whispered, there has to be more than this, more than the rush, more than the reactivity, more than the pressure to control everything and everyone around you. And now, maybe you see it. It's not about doing more, it's about being wiser. Because true transformation doesn't always look like effort. Sometimes it looks like breathing before you speak, choosing stillness over noise, releasing what no longer chooses you, remembering you were whole before the world told you to earn it. That's the Stoic path, not cold, not passive, but deeply awake, quietly powerful, and radically free. So here's the recap. You don't need to react to everything. You can cultivate Ataraxia, calm as your weapon. You don't need to control life. You can root yourself in your will, the only thing that's truly yours. You don't need to resist. But you can accept reality and let it reshape you with grace. You don't need to race time. You can return to presence and actually feel your life. You don't need to attach for worth. You can choose autonomy and carry your value from within. This is your invitation, not just to learn these truths, but to live them, to make them your compass when everything outside tries to pull you off course. So if this message anchored something in you, subscribe, not just to this channel, but to a new standard for how you show up in life. Drop a comment. Which of the 5 shifts hit you hardest today? And how will you practice it this week? And when you're ready, watch this next. Stop chasing people, the Stoic way to reclaim inner power. Thanks for walking this path with me. Thanks for reclaiming your stillness. Thanks for becoming a little stronger, a little calmer, and a lot more stoic today.